Hello everybody, this is John Felt. Welcome to the Ag Weather Outlook for May 8th, 2016. Well, over the last week it was fairly quiet as advertised. You can see that we had in some areas, the areas in brown are indicating only 0 or 1 day of precipitation, measurable precipitation over the last week. A couple areas near the Great Lakes were more active, 4 to 5 days. And the mid-Atlantic and parts of the northeast U.S. much more active. But really, if you look at the whole nation, it was a fairly quiet week. And we needed that because many areas were getting pretty soggy, and 1 week of dry weather was very helpful. Now, if we look at the precipitation over the last 7 days, you can see there was some precipitation. It extended right across the central part of the Corn Belt. Most of that was only about a ½ inch or so. But if we got into Indiana, you can still see those little pockets there. And that's one of the things that we're seeing now that we're in spring. Look at how these little pockets here or there. We're getting much more convective springtime precipitation compared to the wintertime precipitation, which is more uniform. So we are getting thunderstorms, widespread thunderstorms in spots. But overall, when you average the precipitation over this spring week, which we usually get a lot of rain, it was fairly quiet. Now, always keep an eye on what areas need rain and what areas don't, and it's very difficult to describe that over a large area. But the action spot has really been Texas, Oklahoma, and up through the plains here. You can see this is the standardized precipitation index, and it's been very wet in those areas. Also, it's hinting at parts of the eastern Corn Belt that have also been trending a bit wet, and this is indicating a bit on the dry side. But the SPI is more of a general type index, so I show a lot of different indices in the past, but this is one I wanted to look at. So generally where we really don't want rain is right in this axis, right in here. This area could use some drying, but it's not quite as bad as the plains, and this area could use a bit in the middle part of the Corn Belt. So the departure from normal temperature over the last 7 days, you can see a lot of green. That's indicating a bit below normal as far as temperatures go. Now, towards the latter part of this period, we were getting a nice warm-up. So it would have been a little bit nice for these soggy areas to have some warm weather along with the dry weather. But for the most part, it was more just dry weather and temperatures a bit cooler than normal. Now, so temperatures here, you can take a look at the 50s. That's that light shade of brown here. 50 degrees are continuing to work northward. They've now covered a good part of the area, and with a couple days of warm weather over the weekend, they're continuing to reinforce and warm over the central part of the Corn Belt. Now, here's a teaser for this briefing. That's not going to necessarily persist, as I'm going to be talking about some cooler weather. Now, this week is going to be a more active week than last week. We have the jet stream here. We have some energy. It's not necessarily a real strong pocket of energy, but there is some energy here, and that's going to be pushing off to the east. Now, we're going to start off with warmer temperatures. So this weekend into early this week, we're going to have warmer than normal temperatures. But we're going to also have a setup of some very active weather over parts of the middle U.S. Now, this is Monday. What you can see here, here's the setup. We have a stationary front, and that's going to be the axis for some thunderstorms, including some severe weather, and then this cold front here. And if we look at, just to give you some timing, this is late on Wednesday. This is the front that's going to eventually sweep things out. Now, these little wind barbs here, this is the direction of the wind. So this is saying that that cold front is going to be about in this region late Wednesday, and that'll be ushering in the next change. So the first half of the week, the central Corn Belt, most of the week, the eastern Corn Belt will have a chance of rainfall. Now, how much rain? It's really hard to say exactly how much rain will be when we're talking about thunderstorms. I think I'd focus more on this purple. So the eastern Corn Belt is going to get wetter, and that's an area, remember we said we don't necessarily want more rain in that area. This area here, 2 to 3 inches of rain can probably handle it okay in this area here. And then fortunately, most of the central Corn Belt, the heaviest rain is going to be to the east. So that's somewhat good news, is that central Corn Belt, Texas, Oklahoma on northward, not quite as much as further to the east. Now let's look a little bit further out. This is the 6 to 10 day, and this is when we get more cooler air pushing in. You can see the jet stream dips behind this cold front. So we're looking at a period of 5 days to as much as 7 of below normal temperatures pushing in towards the middle of the month. You can see that is indicated in blue, and that covers the entire U.S. Corn Belt in that 6 to 10 day period. And we could even have a few days that it's significantly below normal. This is a week from now, and this brighter shade of purple here is indicating as much as 10 to 15 degrees below normal. And the darker to medium purple is roughly 5 to 10 degrees below normal. That's next weekend. So that's that cooler weather pushing in, and we're going to go through about a 5 to 10 day period of cooler weather. Now, models are saying as we get into the 10 to 15 day range, we get the jet stream pushing north again, and that should warm things up. So starting off for a couple more days above normal, then going into a 5 to 7 day period of below normal, and then it looks like as we get past the 10 day period, perhaps warming up again. Now let's take a look at precipitation anomalies for week 1 and week 2. Well, this week it looks like the entire U.S. Corn Belt, some exceptions, maybe the upper Midwest. This area here looks like maybe near or even a little bit below normal right in this area. But everywhere else here, it looks like it's going to be a week of above normal precipitation. Now let's look at week 2. Well, week 2 looks like it could be fairly active again right through the central part. Hopefully not as quite in the east, but I've seen this in the past where this has been showing up. So it looks like from a very general perspective, we're looking at more active precipitation. Definitely this week, not as much next week, but I still think it's not going to be an overall dry week. There is going to be a chance of precipitation. Now, there is going to be a chance of severe weather early this week, today and Monday. This is Sunday's outlook, so the Central Plains, and this is Monday's outlook. And it pushes off to the east on Tuesday, but the threat is not as great, so be careful if you're in those areas. So your takeaway, the alerts, chance of severe over parts of the central U.S. The trends are a soaking rain, a multi-day chance of rain through the middle part of the week, and in the eastern Corn Belt even into the latter part of the week. Then we're going to get into a 5 to 7 day cool down, and then it looks like as we get towards the middle of the month, warming up again. So that's this week's briefing. I hope that helps you. I know everybody's very, very busy out there. I appreciate you taking time to listen to the briefing. Have a great week.